It's October 6, 2025, and I'm starting this week off over here at Eastbluff Elementary in the Corona Del Mar zone, and I'm subbing 4th grade today. So this day is going well so far. After community circle time this morning was a little bit of math. They had like a math quiz on sevens and then fractions, like comparing fractions, and then they were off to Autolab, which is their computer lab, and Autolab took place at the library. I'd say that the students here, they're good, just really like to talk to each other. After Autolab was social studies, so we read about the Central Valley and took notes, and now they're at recess. And then after recess, there's a little spelling and vocabulary test, as well as more language arts. And then the teacher said that she'll be back by lunchtime, so I guess I'm just subbing to lunch. A few students and faculty remember me from subbing here in the past. One of the students in this classroom said that she recognized me from the news, and that's because I go all around the news, talk about autism awareness and disability inclusion. And one of the other substitutes here was my former RSP teacher from over 15 years ago at Ensign. And I got to share a few sleight of hand tricks, so I'm sure that the rest of the day will go well, and I'm thankful that I'm here. It is October 7th, 2025, and I'm back over here at TeWinkle Middle School subbing English today. And an affirming moment happened as soon as I entered the office when it was said that I was subbing for this teacher. There's a student who overheard, and he jumped and said yes, and then he apologized and said, oh, it's just he's my favorite sub. So very affirming moment. And on the way over here, there were a few students and staff who were happy to see me back. And earlier this morning, there's a person who came up to me remembering me from being a classmate of hers back at Vanguard University over 5.5 years ago. And just down the hall is a history teacher whom I met at Ensign while subbing. Actually, wait, I was still in my student teaching days when I met him. Anyway, I'm inside this language arts classroom and I feel prepared for today. And I actually had a deja vu moment here. I noticed that the pictures on the wall from the teacher, one of the teachers, looked very familiar. It's like, I've seen those before. I must have been inside this room. Part of the reason why I didn't recognize this place first is because the tables are in groups instead of columns. And I guess my nickname is the Magic Man or the Magic Sub. Like all day today as students were entering or even out in the hall and they're passing by, they're pointing me out as the Magic Man. And as always I say, yes, I do sleight of hand tricks. Speaking of which, at the end of 6th period, the teacher in charge gave me about 5 minutes to do a series of tricks. And also at the beginning of lunchtime, a couple of students came in here and one was showing a couple of card tricks as well. And so today was magnificent and horrid. I had to play the same horror show 5 times today, and I had to watch it 5 times with the lights out. It was a little 30-minute movie, and they were doing a paper about it. And so that was for periods 1, 3, 4, 5, and 7. Period 6 had another teacher in charge, and I was just helping out as necessary. Period 5 was honors language arts, and I was on my own there. And I say that because periods 1, 3, 4, and 7 had a co-teacher. And I knew this co-teacher from the district. He subbed at Ensign, he subbed here a few times, he subbed at Ray. So it was good to talk to him again and exchange stories of which schools we subbed at. And he was asking me if I had an update on my applications because I applied to be a math teacher at a couple of schools. I haven't heard back yet, but I'm still waiting. In the meantime, there is an opportunity that might start soon. So as always, it was good to be here at TeWinkle, and I'm glad that I was here. It is October 8th, 2025, and I'm over here at my alma mater, Newport Harbor High School, subbing science today. It's great to be back in the science classroom again. The teacher here is a pilot, so he has a lot of neat pictures of warplanes from back in the day. And this teacher was the same teacher I subbed for when I subbed here the first time back in May 2022. So today is mostly freshmen taking biology, so I know pretty much most of them from Ensign. And just down the hall is my former anatomy teacher from 2012 to 2013, and he says he's feeling old now because I said I was 30, but right next to his desk he opened a drawer and pulled out some of my anatomy drawings from back in the day. So he still has some of my drawings and shows them to his students and says that he had a student who drew these by hand and no, it wasn't a computer. And it's lunchtime now, so 2 down, 2 to go. And being about halfway done, I had to walk down the street to Starbucks to refill on caffeine because after the next 2 periods, I'm not done for the day. I have 3 hours of math tutoring, so that should be fun. And along the way just now, there's a student that was driving past me and said, "Hey, Mr. Kenslow," and waved. Yeah, it's crazy to think that students are driving now. fact, these are the same biology textbooks that we used over 15 years ago when I was a student here. I took honors biology and the teacher still works here. And so that's it, and if you've done the math, I've done 4 periods here, and this is a high school, so they're about 90 to 100 minutes each. But, you know, I was getting to stay busy a bit. The first half hour, they're just finishing up a graph and doing some progress tracker that I stamped. And for about 45 to 50 minutes after that, they were watching an episode of Planet Earth about saving the planet, and they were filling out a questionnaire about it. And thankfully, it got relatively easy to work a DVD player. And so I watched that episode 4 times in the daylight, just making a little allusion to yesterday. And so the students were happy to see me again. I pretty much know about almost 100% of the student body because I've been subbing for the last 3.5 years. And some of the students in one of the periods were giving me their birth date, and I would tell them the day of the week. Okay, I'm not that fast like some people, but the reason why is because I remember around the time that they were born. Sometimes I remember the day that they were born because I was a sophomore at the school when most of these freshmen were born. So this day went well, over 6 hours worth of classes, and I'm thankful that I was kept busy. Otherwise I'd be bored as heck, like sometimes when I sub high school. And now on to 3 hours of tutoring. It's October 9th, 2025, and I'm over here at Pomona Elementary subbing special ed pre-K today. So I sub special education pre-K over here at Pomona a few times, and there are 2 sessions, a morning and an afternoon. The morning session just came and went. There were only 3 students here out of 4 on the roster. So I was just helping out as needed, making sure that they're behaving to the best of my ability. And now I'm on a half-hour break, and then I'm going to see what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. The last time I did special ed pre-K after the morning session, I was rotating around a few classes, so I'll probably be doing that again. And then I came in here to room 7, and it's a special ed kindergarten class, so I was helping out students and supervising. I was helping one by reading to them and helping another with their Starfall app on their Chromebook. And then at the end of recess, the principal came over to me and asked me to help be an extra set of eyes for the music teacher, so I was in music for about 50 minutes. I didn't get to play any instruments, but it's very melodious. I enjoyed it. So I'm thankful to have been at Pomona today. And now off to 2 more hours of math tutoring. It's October 10th, 2025, and I'm over here at Corona Del Mar Middle and High School subbing language arts today. So this day was splendid. It was pretty much 7th and 8th graders today, and there were 3 periods 2, 4, and 6, and they were starting out with CNN 10, and then some silent reading for 20 minutes, and then a quiz. The quiz was about literary devices like alliteration, personification, all that. When I accepted this position on Frontline, it said language arts and social studies, but I guess the teacher teaches all language arts now. All day today, the students were kind of respectful, recognizing me from their feeder schools like Anderson, Harborview, Eastbluff, and Lincoln. Within the last 3 or 4 minutes of each period, I was showing a couple of card tricks, and they were baffled. After the periods, particularly 4th and 6th period, they were saying thank you to me. And by the end of 4th period, they were saying thank you or calling me the best sub or asking me to sub again. In fact, many students at the end of 4th period were asking me to sub for this teacher or another teacher of theirs. And I'm like, if it comes up on Frontline, I will probably accept it. And one last thing real quick, it's a peculiar story, but I was going to sub drama at Costa Mesa High School today. But then a couple of days ago, I was contacted by Ensign about a music position over there. So I canceled Costa Mesa for Ensign, but then Ensign told me yesterday, oh, they don't need me anymore. And now I'm stuck. And then this popped up last night, so I'm like, okay, I'll go to Corona Del Mar High School. And as always, it's a tremendous pleasure to be here. So remember that disability or not, anyone can do whatever they set their heart and mind to do as long as it's practical. And behind the disability, we have a heart and a mind. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. And then, guys, I knew it. And Autolab took place at the library. It's October 8th, 2024, and I'm 25. So I guess life in the big city, I suppose. Hello.